Be still.
What's up, man?
Welcome to Fight Cards with Nate and Brian. If you happen to be watching live, how are you, Be Still?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I apologize to our twos of listeners. I have a little bit of a cough here, so if I sound bad, nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, well,
So
we'll let it slide.
thank you. Um, the Emmy will happen next year. Okay.
Yes. So how? So did you? I'm gonna jump right into it. So did you get to finish? Did you watch the fights last night, or did you finish watching them today?
I watched most of them today, actually. They probably split it 50-50. I think I watched the main card, most of the main card last night, and then I watched some of the prelims today. So I haven't
Yeah.
seen everything yet, as far as I know, but all the important stuff. And we can, oh, I need to do tags. And we can now remind everyone that there are levels to this game, right?
Uh, yeah.
And we know this, but last night was just another reminder that Volkanovski is 300 miles ahead of everybody, and Holloway is 200 miles ahead of everybody.
Isn't it crazy? You know, the funny thing is that Brennan went back and rewatched it this morning, and his exact words were, "Volk beat him 3 times."
Yeah,
And I get it. I mean, you're sitting there watching, and I love Allen. I'm a huge Allen fan. I mean, he hadn't lost a fight before last night, since
right.
2014. And he's a down to earth, cool guy. Seems like it.
Yeah.
And but God, and to skip to the hobby aspect of it, how does Holloway not just carry as much meat as anyone with his
Well,
prices?
they were, and then he lost 3 times to Volkanovski.
Yeah,
And
I
people
guess.
only care about who's got the gold, and sometimes that doesn't even matter.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's time. If you're listen, everybody should participate in the hobby whatever way they want to, man. I'm not definitely not one of those people, dude. You want to come in and you want to buy and sell cards and do what you can, whatever. It's a community. But I just, do you not collect Max? It's, it just, because I get to thinking about it, and I think about, and I encourage everybody to think about, before you started collecting cards, when you were just a fan and the cards weren't part of it, why did you like a fighter? And it wasn't because you might flip $100 card and make $60. It was because it was the Brennan watched Lawler and Roy McDonald at dinner tonight again, and it's just like he was never around for those guys or collecting those cards. And but he definitely wants cards of those guys, And Max is just going to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you can pick up a Max card for a decent price and it's a good card, I just don't know why you don't jump on them, man.
John Ho is watching. He says Raul Rosas Jr. with a crying emoji.
I was afraid of that, but God, he's 18 years old, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Brendan and I were talking about that just today too, because Allen's 29, and it's hard to believe that Max is only 31 years old.
They were talking about Max with some exactly. They were talking about Max with some old fighter, and Allen is this up and comer. It's like
2 years difference.
2 years difference, but in terms of fight age, 100.
Yeah, it's crazy, but the point is, so when you think of a fighter, and this is in regards to Rosas, if you think of a fighter that's 28 years old,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, man, this guy has got, he's coming into his prime.
Mm-hmm.
And Rosas is 18. He has
Yeah.
a decade before he gets to that age.
Right.
How good could this kid be? And I really, listen, from a collector standpoint, I hope it takes a dip. I hope when Prizm comes out, if he's got some nice cards or some nice inserts or whatever, that they're not crazy, because I'd certainly like to have him. I mean, he's a baby, But
and if you look at Holloway when he came into the UFC, how old was he? 1920. I don't even remember. And he, whatever his age was, doesn't matter. He possessed a fraction of the skills that he has now. It's like not even the same guy.
Sure, sure. I mean, he obviously what he brought into it was his attitude and his toughness, man. I mean, the guy's tough as nails, dude. Only fighter never been dropped. I mean, come on. And I just, yeah, when it comes from a collection standpoint, I just don't know why you wouldn't, unless you just hate him, and I don't know why, but it's sports, so
Yeah.
You don't have to have a guy doesn't have to bust up somebody's parlay but one time and they become their Anthony Pettis. I can't stand him, for that reason alone.
And Max has got cards going all the way back.
Yeah.
So I had a big Max Holloway PC that I have disassembled, and now my new strategy is 1 or 2 big cards, the best that I can reasonably afford.
Right.
And I do have my eyes on his Select 21 Octagon side Zebra in a PSA 10. There's a couple of them floating around out there.
Nice.
And they're a little bit overpriced, but I think I'm going to go for one when I get my tax return.
That'd be a good one to have, man.
Can I make a little administrative announcement?
Absolutely.
And I'll probably do this throughout the show if I see new people coming in who haven't been watching. We're trying something new tonight. We are live streaming on the Facebook group, the UFC card community, as we always do. But I am trying out live streaming on YouTube. So I am live on my new YouTube channel. It's at Fight Cards Nate on YouTube. So youtube.com/@FightCardsNate/streams, and you can see me live over there. Be interesting to see if anybody would go on there and try to leave a comment to see if your name shows up. Because on our end, and this is a little behind the scenes, but just to make everyone understand, when you're on Facebook and you leave a comment watching the video, it shows up for us. It just says Facebook user. So I have to have 2 screens open right now, trying to figure out who left comments. It's a minor.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they comment on YouTube if it pops up on StreamYard.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll have the username, but the username may be different, but they can introduce themselves.
Yeah, and that's okay if it doesn't work out or if you don't want to do it. But if you're looking for a different way to view us, check it out on YouTube. And this will be the first thing on the YouTube channel. I do want to put some content up there. Not sure what yet, but we're ready to get out there
and have some fun with it, man.
Have some fun with it, indeed. So, anything else on that?
No. I mean, I think a good segue into what we had chatted about was Nicolau lost.
Sure.
And obviously that was that's relevant to people holding Nicolau cards and those that scooped him up and got in breaks and that was sort of one of their rookies to pick.
Sure.
Because I think we all, we all do that. And it's part of the fun of the hobby, is speculating on the career trajectory and trying to make an investment. But so somebody just said hello.
Yeah. So this is
showed up.
This is great. So John Ho migrated over to YouTube, and I know this because it says it in our little chat box. I don't have to. This is great. So Facebook user, when he spoke from Facebook or when he chatted from Facebook, it just said Facebook user. Yeah. Now it says John Ho. So this is exciting. We'll have to see if we can grow our audience on YouTube over there. I'm going to start promoting it on my Instagram and in the group. Hey, Sean Foster, CM Punk the GOAT.
What's up, Sean? What's up, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a better format on StreamYard connected with YouTube. We're going to have better. That has really been one of the issues with this is having dialogue back and forth with people because a comment will show up and we have no idea who said it. By the time you ask who said it and they replied, the sort of the flow of the banter has just gone.
Earl versus Hasbullah.
I love it.
My God, what are we going to think about Hasbullah in 5 years? I think we're all going to be very embarrassed. Unless he turns out to be an amazing person. If he would learn English, that would help us a lot. But whatever. The guy's making his money. It's pretty amazing.
Dude, and listen, man, look, that guy could be in a Eastern European Russian village somewhere, dude, carrying bundles of wheat all day, and instead he's out there. Good for him, man. He's doing
Yeah,
his thing.
absolutely.
But so no, back to what I was saying is in regards to a segue into one of the things that we talked about was Nicolau lost last night, and it seems like you had Casey lost, and you had Yanez lose, and it's sort of like how the mighty have fallen. These were popular rookies early on,
right?
And I think it warrants. We're kind of at that point where we're a quarter in, a third of the way through the year, and about to have the new Prizm, the new rookie class roll out. So who's left? Who's still standing in the rookies from 22 that hasn't taken a loss or a shitty win over a guy named Jared Gordon and taken a popularity dip?
Sure. So I went through. I found a new website, by the way, gang. You may or may not be familiar with this, but I wasn't, so I'm going to pretend like this is useful.
You're going to pull it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you the website that I'm referencing here. And there we go. This is, by the way, you can tell what I've been shopping for. My brother's a photographer, and I'm buying him some camera equipment for his birthday. Anyway, whatever. So this is the trading card database, and let's see. You can see where sorry. Give me a second here. What is going on? All right. So you can pull up any card set and then go straight to the rookies. So if you're like, oh, who's in the Prizm 22 rookie class? It says 57 cards, and it has them, and it has pictures of the cards, and has their card number and their name. But if you wanted to find out, other things about the set, right? First of all, here are all the MMA sets 2022 and 2022 Panini Prizm. You can look at Hall of Famers, rookies, inserts, and related sets, packaging, pricing, sell sheets, all these things, and then card rankings, which no one really does. But anyway, and here's the full set. And this is all user-generated data. It's like a Wikipedia, right? But you can also apparently vote to say what your favorite card is. But anyway, it's tcbd.com.
This is great, man.
I randomly found this.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. Because when we talked earlier, when you brought this up, one of the things, listen, if you're sitting around, you got a little extra scratch in your pocket and you're thinking, I'm going to go see what's on eBay. Sometimes, well, for me anyways, you're sitting there, you're scrolling through and you've got, your 5 or 6 rookies that you think of to look and see what's available. If you're rookie card shopping. And this is nice because it just breaks it down, and you can, has kind of the rookies as a subset, and that's great. So
obviously there are 57. I think there were like 30 or 40 in Prizm 21. I wouldn't have remembered all of these, and there were a couple I was like, really, that's a card. Let's see. We just had a comment. John Ho is asking us how many boxes are we picking up. I am going to hold off. I have so many cards that I'm going to wait and see what the set looks like, and then probably just buy singles. And again, I'll get in breaks and things like that. I'll buy some packs, and we'll see where the price dips as well. If it gets down to like $100 for a box for Prizm, I'll pick one up.
Yeah.
Be still. What are your plans for the new product?
We're going with we're gonna try to open a couple of hobby boxes on Brennan's YouTube. And then I'm definitely in on the undercard, correct? Isn't that what it's called?
That's what it's called.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that. So we'll probably do 2 of each initially to to record some YouTube content and see if we can't pull something fun.
And first off the line is coming out late this week. they are starting it at 750, and it's going to drop down to I think 250. So we'll see what people pay for that.
I'm wondering. I'm thinking anywhere between 350 and 400 is what it's going to go for.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
always
don't know.
fun.
We'll see.
So I went through the list of rookies, and I put together. This is pretty crude. I just put together a chronology of when the rookies lost their fights, and then I also have a list of inactive. All right, so
Okay.
let me share that, and we will.
So again, this is Prizm 22
Right.
rookies, and who's left?
All right, so this needs to be zoomed up a little bit. Again, this is just a crude. Let me kill this banner here. It's taking up too much space. All right. So, and we will do another. Sorry. There we go. Prizm 22 rookies, the losers. So, Prizm 22 released on March 25th, 2022. So, we're slightly overdue for this product. First, the first big L that people have not gotten over was Chris Dawkins, and then this was on the day after the product release. So Fight Night Blades versus Dawkins, and then Carl Rosa lost in the prelims, and Max Griffin, who didn't have a Prizm card, but he had he came out of Select, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, or did he have a Prizm Auto? I'm not sure, but anyway, Max Griffin is a rookie this year, and he lost as well. But we love him because he's a member of our community. June 11th, UFC 275, Talia Santos lost, but again, she didn't have her rookie until Select.
Right.
To quote unquote lost to Shevchenko. I think she lost based on the rules. June 18th, Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett. The Cuban Missile Crisis lost his fight. June 25th, Surukin versus Gamrot. What is it? Rulian Paiva lost, and then Surukin lost in the main event.
Yes.
July 2nd, Sean Strickland lost his first fight of the product during UFC 276. July 16th, Ortega versus Rodriguez. Daun Jung lost, Jack Shore lost, and Sumadarji all lost.
So I'm going to stop you. When we first started, this list is more extensive than I imagined, and I imagined it was pretty big because that's the reason we wanted to look through this.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
And I would say hype fighters, right? I think of this first group that we've talked about, I think Strickland had some followers, but I wouldn't say it was a huge card if I remember.
Right. Surukin was a big loss.
This is true. Although it might just be a Southern California thing, he still has a market.
Yeah.
We live amongst a large Armenian community in Southern California. And if you saw Lil B's recent posts where he's got, or the video where he's got the Sarukian silver octagon side, authentic PSA silver auto. I got that in person at a card shop in Glendale. It was great.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but I got the auto, and the auto was great.
Okay. Well, I digress. Keep going. You were on Strickland.
July 23rd was a big one. Craig and Aspinall. They both had heat, and Aspinall obviously got that injury and went down. Yes. His cards survived for a little bit, but then there was, I guess, recency in the reality of his injury. His there's still some value there, but his cards went down, and Craig's value completely busted. August 20th, some people were into Romanov. I didn't really believe in him. He lost. I think his cards are down now. September 10th, the Leech lost UFC 279. That was to Hamzat, right?
Yeah.
I think. And I don't know where his value is right now or how hot it was, but, I think maybe because of his, the most popular Chinese fighter, there was value there. Okay. And then October 22nd at UFC 280, Sean Brady lost. His cards took a big hit. Although I'm starting to see a little bit of recovery there, I think.
Yeah, I am too, and that was a big loss because a lot of people were high, and rightfully so. I think Brady's legit. I mean, I think he's going to be around for a long time, but that took a hit. That was a big hit. That card itself, right there, him and Gamrot both.
So, I see an interesting comment that I want to follow up on once we are done here, go through this list. Brady and Gamrot's cards took a hit. And then on October 29th, the next week, Cater versus Allen, Phil Haas and Dustin Jacoby's cards, they lost. Their cards were never really hot. Let's see. November 5th, Rodriguez. My God, who even is Rodriguez?
Daniel Rodriguez.
D-Rod, that's right. Yeah. There's a different Rodriguez in the main event. So he lost, and he had some heat behind him. UFC 281 in November 15th, November 12th. Claudio Police lost in a very embarrassing fashion.
Yes,
and cards have been justifiably disintegrated in value. December 10th, UFC 282, Alex Morono lost. I don't know if his cards ever had value. February 11th, UFC 284, Menfield drew, and his cards were never hot, but that was when I gave up on him.
Yeah.
He just not charismatic and didn't bring enough heat in that fight for me to feel like he's got a good future.
Right.
February 25th, Andre Muniz versus Arnold Allen, right?
No, Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen, sorry, getting them mixed up in the main event, and he lost that one. And again, he just looked terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I think he was one of my sleeper picks, and now it's now sleep is permanent. I know you were in on Muniz.
Yeah, I like him as a fighter too, man. But God, that's twice that I've seen him do that, where he just comes out and he's just So I don't know.
All right. So then March 4th, Jalen Turner lost to Gamrot. His cards have suffered. His cards, and by the way, as you all know, there was a lot of certain rookies were able to withstand the recency bias, including Turner. He had strong values almost all the way up to his fight. And then March 18th, King Casey and Fiziev both lost. I'm not sure what has happened to their values because I haven't been tracking them that closely. Just what's going on in my life right now, I haven't been able to be such a data nerd. And then March 25th,
right,
Peterson lost and retired. My orange PSA 10 is now a coaster. And Austin Lingo, who looked good in that fight, I thought, but never had any heat in his cards, lost as well. And then April 23rd, Adrian Yanez lost. He was another fighter who I think had some heat, and then recency diluted his value, and now I'm sure they're down. And then last night, Nicolau and Billy Q lost. And Billy Q's cards never really picked up, but they're calling him a blue-collar fighter. I think he might have some marketability behind him.
Yeah, I think so too. I think long term, I think of those two, for sure, I like him as a card investment better than Nicolau.
Yeah.
But isn't that crazy when just kind of scroll up now and just look at this list.
There were
how many total rookies were there?
33 out of the 57 lost.
33 out of the 57 came out and lost after their card came out.
So let's shift gears to the people who got cards but never even fought this year.
Okay.
I have this list as well. So, by the way, this is not actually terrible. This compared to what we see in like football, where I pulled a rookie patch auto of an Eagles quarterback who was on the team long enough to be on their practice squad,
right?
Sign a sticker and put on a green piece of cloth, and then not even in the league anymore.
Right.
So here's the last fight. This is reverse chron, so oldest to most recent, right? Here's when they last fought, and then bold means they're not in the UFC anymore. I don't even know if you can see that.
Right.
So Julia Avila last fought in June of 2021. I'm not sure what happened to her. I think she might have had a kid.
Julia Avila?
Yeah. Bia Malecki fought in August of 21.
Mm-hmm.
Shamil Gamzatov fought in October of 2021 and is not in the UFC anymore. Felicia Spencer fought in November of 21 and is retired, I believe.
So it's just Joel Alvarez then.
Yeah, Joel Alvarez fought just before, and he was scheduled to do some fighting, but I guess injuries or whatever happened recently. So he fought just before a product launch, about a month, February 26th, and then Jeff Molina fought in June. So he did fight during the product launch, but I don't know if he's still in the UFC or not. Be surprised because he was suspended for the whole Krausgate situation with the gambling.
Right.
And then Bontarine fought on December 31st in a non-UFC Ryzen FF. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fighters who didn't even fight. And I don't know why I put Molina on that list because he did fight during the he did fight during the product, but he's out now. So, and there are some other fighters who have dropped out. So let's take Molina off that list. I'm not sure why I put that in there. Anyway, so yeah, 6 fighters who got rookie cards, who never even fought, and 3 of them are out of the UFC now. So awesome.
By the way, the thing is too is you have Alvarez there, and if you remember, whenever I think it was one of us, I think it was me, had Alvarez when we did the Silver Challenge last year. And we ended up trading him off. I ended up trading him off. But, he's 30. His last loss was to Arman, who is, a top prospect. And then before that, in 2019, he lost to Damir Ismagulov by decision. And that's a tough fight. And of the 19 wins, he's got 16 submissions. And so, all those popular names that came out and lost their first fight, and you got Alvarez sitting over here that hasn't fought yet. He's 30 years old, 2 quality losses, and is a submission specialist, So
maybe a stock up and hold situation.
Possibly. I mean, the kid's probably going to fight again. I haven't seen or heard anything, saying that he's out indefinitely or that there was a severe injury. But who knows? Maybe it certainly warrants some more homework.
So, to me, pick the fighters who you believe in long term and took the hit this year. Some of them may be champions, right? I still think the best days of Hamzat Chimaev are ahead of us. So
I agree 1,000%.
Yeah.
I think for instance, that we'll just go back to your list real quick.
Sure. Sorry, I've got a couple things open here. So, for instance, for me, Yanez is an awesome fighter. Needs to learn some defense.
Great future.
Got hit. They told us exactly what was going to happen to Nicolau in the beginning of that fight. They said people have said he's too patient, and he circled around the end until he got tagged. He never took his shot. So if he's able to grow, right?
Right. I like Yanez better than Nicolau, but
Sure.
Both of those guys. I mean, yeah, and look at Adrian Yanez. I was just looking. He's 29.
Yeah.
Billy Q we mentioned. I don't know. I don't know on D-Rod. I'm kind of torn on him. Brady. I like.
Yeah. I think D-Rod. I think D-Rod is a journeyman fighter who's boring and looks like he cuts a lot, or so who knows?
Yeah. But I mean, there's a ton on this list. I mean, listen, Aspinall's still just sitting out there.
Yeah.
And those are for the quality of fighter that he is in the future that guy has. Coming, if he's able to come back and be healthy, super inexpensive.
I missed what you said.
Well, he's just, he's 30, and
Yeah. My
those cards
only
have just. Mhm.
my only caution on heavyweights is the heavyweight title is a hot potato, and I think that no one holds it. So
Yeah,
it's
but I think what happens and I agree, and that's a tough one. I mean, listen, that's a tough one because no one holds it, and who's there when you get there, but I think the thing is that if he does pull off a win, and then you know you're not if you lose, you're not going to drop outside the top five.
right.
And so there is some sustainability there for a short period of time, whether you're trying to flip that card or make an investment on it, or you want a really cool card because the guy's going to end up making noise in the heavyweight division for a decade. Now's the time to buy it.
Sure.
A buy and hold for me is not necessarily a buy and hold to flip.
Sure.
If there's somebody that I like, and Aspinall, I mean, listen, the guy's, I think he's special. And you want a really good card, shit, get it now, man. Or you're going to pay 3 to 4 times, 2 years from now, potentially. So I try to look at it that way as well.
Let's see. Let's catch up on some comments, and then we'll head over to the next segment. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
So there's your information, everybody. If anybody wants copies of my little spreadsheet, let me know and I'll share it. Okay, so back to the comments. By the way, I'm going to put this banner back up here. If anybody wants to, well, I don't know. It's, my God, be still. What's wrong with me? All right.
Okay. You're having technical difficulties.
No, I'm good. So I set this up. We're also live on YouTube tonight. We're going to start doing that at Fight Cards Nate on YouTube. If you would like your name to be seen in the chat, we can tell who's giving us comments on YouTube. We can't tell on Facebook, so it's just administratively.
You're just Facebook user on.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
So,
sorry about that. Somebody said they went to their first card show.
That was Jeff.
35 tables. Oh, Jeff. Oh, 10 total UFC cards. That's God. Did we not see that in Burbank, Nate?
Yeah, something like that.
That ratio is. But I met Matt Hughes. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Talked to him for almost half an hour after the show. Very cool, man.
That is cool.
And somebody says it's going to be harder for last year's top rookies to survive a loss if they fight now as opposed to in December with this year's cards so close to the release. I agree. I think that's a fantastic. Who said that?
That was Jeff.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic point because here's the thing. Listen, throughout the course of the year, the cards come out in late spring. There's that initial push and everybody's, that feeding frenzy and the water's been chummed. We get into summer, you start getting some fights. People are fighting, people aren't. Markets are changing, and then if you take that loss, probably not the best example from an investment standpoint, but take the loss like Nicolau or Yanez. Yanez is a perfect example. Yanez's loss came at a time where in 2 weeks we're all going to be holding and hunting new rookie cards.
Yeah.
Which goes to even more. Those rookie cards aren't going anywhere. I know there's that fear of missing out. But I mean, you make a great point of what better time to go scoop up, last year's rookies that you like, even if it's in medium to high numbered cards or silvers or greens. And while everybody else is going nuts over the cards that you can get 6 weeks later for 40% less.
So I think it was Jeff. I'm not sure. Someone last week at the end of the show, or maybe after the show had aired, asked us to go through pop reports and explain how we find cards in pop reports. Okay. So I'll share I'm pretty proficient here, but just the disclaimer, I'm gonna do my best here.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, so you go to psacard.com. This is for PSA. I also have SGC and Beckett, and this will be good to show what you can find in each pop report. Just click on pop report. And by the way, if you have the serial number, which all of the cards that are graded by each company, the reputable ones anyway, have one, you can type it in. If you don't, I'll show you how to find it. So you just type it in the pop report, no results. Awesome. So let's.
I'm trying to see what I had. Slabs.
So you can do player search, by the way. Let's see. Fun fact. Or you can go by category down here, right? So if you wanted to do, let's see what happens if we type in 2022 Prizm. Yep. That's not super helpful, but you do player search. We can go category. So down at the bottom, let's see, basketball, hockey. By the way, boxing, wrestling, MMA cards is one category in PSA. And then you just, what year are you trying to get to, right? So scroll down. Let's say we want to see some Hamzat Shemaevs, by the way. By the way, take a look at the grading really took off for boxing, wrestling, and MMA in 2022.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then here are all the sets, right? You can see grade, authentic, 1 all the way up through 10, right? So total grades, and then pluses just mean 8.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Q, I don't know what Q stands for. I'm sorry. It might have something to do with dual service or something like that. But take a look. You want to find a Chronicles card. This is Chronicles autos. These are a subset, right? So let's see what's fun. So Cyril gone. Here's the pop report, right?
Oh.
Two 9s and a 10, 2 9s and 3 10s. And then that's the most you can get there. You can also see, I guess there's just not enough popularity in the UFC community. eBay results.
Right.
But if you wanted to find Cyril Gone, you can also just search for the player.
Oh.
And then it's got a hereby set, right? And it tells you everything that's
every card that's available in that set, yeah.
Yeah. So gold, purple. So that's PSA's basic. They're all pretty similar to this. I don't know. I'm not an expert in cruising pop reports. And for me, the MMA cards and UFC cards are such a small fraction of the overall graded card population that almost everything that we are going to see
super low pop.
is super low pop.
Yeah.
Like, let's take a look at. So here is probably the biggest graded card. It might be the biggest graded card of UFC. Where's the base card? There we go. 360 Hamzats, right? Of his base rookie have been graded a PSA 10 and 722 total. I think the Zion Williamson base card at like 20,000 or something like that.
Wow.
And again, this is Prizm 21, only 7,000 graded. I'm sure there are base rookies in football and basketball who have that many on one card.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's move over to SGC. Very similar, I believe. By the way, there's a special if you're in the Collectors Club. And this one, there you just have to type it in. $16 a card for 60, and then it will just pop up here. $16 a card right now if it's 2022 or 2023 cards on PSA. So then this is how the PSA will pop up. And this takes a minute to populate. So be patient because it says no records to display, but you can also see that spinning wheel.
Yeah. Now, are you saying that price was 22 and 23 on SGC?
No, that's on PSA.
Okay.
So let's see what the Hamzat here is. The base card here, 314 of his base cards are graded in SGC, and they absolutely don't carry the same value as PSA. And then here's Beckett, which I've never tried to search a Beckett pop report before, but this looks pretty intuitive here actually. I should talk Beckett whenever I get the chance, but this actually seems easy to navigate. All right, so let's take a look here. How many of his 7? There were 7 total Hamzat rookie cards that were graded
through Beckett.
No 10s, which again, 9.5 is their gem.
Right.
And this is interesting. They show subgrades, which is good. And then, let's see, can you see the card here? Will they show you the card? No. Okay. So there we go. It just takes a little bit of web surfing and poking around the website till you figure out how each one of them, how each one of the pop reports populates.
So, on graded cards, have you received your cards back from Tag yet?
I have not.
Okay. I assumed you'd let me know. We got to do a reveal.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm going to check right now and see where they are in the process. I'm not sure if they work weekends. I hope not, for their own sake. Until they're
we finally got our 10.
Okay. So I had 2 kits because of a miscommunication on cards that I was going to send in. So right. I ordered a second kit, and my first set, I submitted them. They received them on April 6th. So it's been 10 days, and it's in the verification stage where it's been sitting for a while. My second set they received on the 11th, and it's in the image processing stage.
Nice. Listen. That's a fun rip. Getting that kit back from Tag.
How cool is it that you get to rip open?
It's awesome. Yeah. Don't. And I like the way that on there, when you go into your account, you have to click on see score. They don't just post it anywhere, so they're not going to spoil it for you. So you get to rip it and see. We've got Britton's got we've got to record a video. He's got one right here that he's got to rip. So,
do you know what card is that? What cards are they?
It's the blue.
Okay.
Disco Casey O'Neill octagon side to 49.
Does he know the result?
He does not know the result.
We know the result.
We know the result. Yeah.
We're not
And
gonna
the funny thing is, too, is that's the card that he's challenging Joe with on Joe's card stack. So I know he's going to be like, well, Joe won.
So you and I are, I guess me and Little B, I'm not sure which of the stills is officially behind this. Oh, by the way, let me show you all one more thing before we go then. A card I'm giving up on. This just kind of, I noticed it, and I'll show you in a minute. Anyway, I am doing a challenge with the stills on Thiago Moises Red Disco Octagon side for Tag Your It. And I submitted a card that everyone has a copy of. If anybody does do it, Tag just did their third drop, but I'm not sure how many more their submissions they're going to give us. But if they decide to let us keep doing this, I submitted a Conor McGregor Prizm 21 base. Again, it's a card everybody has. If you get a gem mint, it's got some value, even if it's just a base. And I thought that would be a fun one to see who can get the highest score on theirs.
I think that is. I think that's a great idea, honestly, because with their sub scores, with that total out of 1,000, that'll be a fun little contest, and everybody has that card. Or if you're like us, everybody has 12 of that card.
Yeah. It's let's see, and fighters who I'm giving up on. I'm pretty sure this guy was fighting for his job and he lost. Tanner Bowser, SGC5, and you can't see here. Oh, you can see here. It's off-centered, so you can see where the outlines are.
Yes.
Where it's like if you look at the rookie shield, the whole thing is like shifted down. And that was my first. You can see the outlines of where it's supposed to be printed. You can see the arms there, right? And the rookie shield. That was my first of what I call the Panini Quality Control Gallery. And this is probably going to end up in a mystery envelope and whatnot, unless anybody wants to buy it. Straight up, it's going cheap. The guy, poor guy, but what are you going to do? PFL or maybe LFA or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, add them to the list. It's interesting every week. And so we've got, so let's just look real fast before we wrap things up. Okay, so this weekend, do you remember who's fighting this weekend?
I do not.
Pavlovich and Blades.
Oh, yes.
Now, Pavlovich had Donruss. Yep. I believe that's the only Panini card he had this year was Donruss.
Yep. Let's see.
So he will definitely have Prizm cards.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Hope so.
I would be shocked.
I'm going to go on eBay and see what his Topps rookie year was.
I think it's 2014. Number 3 versus number 4. That's going to be interesting.
Blades is constantly in these Fight Night main events.
I think Pavlovich is legit. I think that he is. I think he's about as real as it comes. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's heavyweight, so you can get caught with anybody can get caught with anything, and it be just end quickly and poorly. But
so this is interesting, right? They gave him a rookie card on Panini Instant, but that's not his rookie card. He was in 2020 Knockout, and that appears to be his true rookie.
What did I say? Did I say 2014? I'm thinking of somebody else. I said 2014. I had half a decade. Let me see.
But he's a killer, and I can't believe he doesn't have more cards.
I know he was out for a stretch. I think if you remember, he was out for like a year and a half.
Okay.
But yeah, it's surprising. I'm excited. Listen, I could be wrong. I mean, it's Panini. They do crazy shit sometimes, but I'd be real surprised if he didn't have cards in Prizm.
No, that would make sense.
You know, he had the Donruss card, and I think that was it. And I'm shocked right here. I just pulled up the lines. I know you're not a gambler, but guess what you think the line is.
Negative 235.
I like that you say negative. That's that. No.
What's the terminology?
Minus.
Minus.
It's the same thing. It's negative. I wasn't being. I like it. I might start using that. It's they've got Blades as the favorite.
Really?
Minus 172. Yeah.
Now the minus 172 means barely favorite.
You usually you'd throw barely in there if it was like minus 125, minus 130, minus 110 to 15 it's like a pick 'em fight. That's just you're paying the tax at that point to the casino. But minus 172 Blades is, I mean, listen, at the very minimum, they're saying Blades is super live in that fight. So that's interesting. I don't see it going that way. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be domination, but I think this guy throws hammers, man.
And Blade, like I say, so Blades has a lot of cards, and I'm going to show you Sergey's 130 point right now.
Okay.
And not a lot for the guy.
Mm-mm.
His Donruss to 99 is 1650. He's got some instants that are worth a little bit of money, but look at that. His to 75 is $2.25. His Topps 2020 knockout base card, that's $12. That's it, right?
And they're ugly cards.
Yeah.
You know, let me see a nice octagon side or a disco or something that looks sharp, a gold.
See, they gave him the rookie badge here, which doesn't make any sense. They didn't give him the rookie badge in Donruss, and it's not his rookie card.
Right.
But
well,
welcome to Panini.
Yeah, welcome to the UFC cards in general. And then real quick, Song Yadong and Rookie Simone. That's another one that we've been talking about for the last few weeks. I'm curious to see how that goes. Simone's one of those that's on the list,
Yeah.
Let's see if he ends up on the good side of that list or the bad side. Bobby Green's fighting Jared Gordon, which no cards in play there, but that could be fun.
Yeah. So who's favored in Simone versus Yadong?
UFC does not have it listed. Let me go over here and look. Ricky Simone minus 145. Listen, I like Ricky Simone, but I also to me that's good value. I think Song Yadong's live in that fight. He just lost to Corey, but listen, we just saw what Corey did to Cheeto, and that was a beautiful performance. So I think Yadong's still pretty solid, but it's going to be interesting. I'm real curious to the main event. And listen, are you anticipating a checklist anytime soon?
Good question. It should come out either before or after
the cards
first off the line, because typically they had it for first off the line, but Immaculate didn't.
Yeah, I remember that.
Let's see.
I would have to think with a flagship product like their Prizm cards, they've got to have it. They've got to have that nailed down.
Let's see. I'm Googling in the background here. I think the release date is April 23rd. Is that no? It's April 28th. So we're coming up on it.
Yeah, that's Friday.
So yeah, it's basically 2 weeks from now. And Steel City has them listed at $275 for the hobby box.
$275.
Yeah. You know, I might, if I can find one locally for with some meat on the bone, buy a case and then do pack outs.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. We'll see. We will see. It's dangerous. It's like,
well, hey, listen, I understand that kind of planning, you know.
Yeah.
It's
but I would love to be in on the feeding frenzy of a Prizm release.
Absolutely.
I might have some money in the bank to be able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, all right, man.
Before we go, let's talk about the Corner Kid activities. What's going on with the YouTube channel?
Just posted a new video tonight. We posted a new one last week, and we've got some good stuff in the works. Got to get with you. Got to get with a couple other people that have committed to doing some interviews with him and talk about cards. And we want it to be a little bit more of a, you know, you and I know how easy it is when you're sitting here talking to get off the rails. And he's 10, so he gets off he lives off the rails, or he's 11 rather. But so we're going to do 10 questions with Lil B. And we've got a few people that have committed to jumping on. Kevin, that runs, one of the groups, has committed to sitting down and answering questions about cards and break-in and UFC stuff. And so he's going to get on with him. And then one of the trainers up at the gym that works with Kevin Holland is committed to getting on there and doing a little interview with him. And so it's going to be fun. It's going to be good. But there's some new videos up now. There's one that we recorded this past week where he has a little bit of a language slip and had to put a funny little edit on there. And you could see his face. It was funny. He was terrified.
Did the Corner Kid have to go to the corner?
Corner Kid, a whole new meaning. I should have posted something on social media with him standing in a corner.
So I set up a YouTube channel. This is streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If anybody wants me to do any specific videos that I can upload, maybe we'll pull sections of this out. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but we're going to try to branch out beyond the little UFC card community, which will always be our home base. But I'm going to start putting stuff on YouTube as well.
Well, I do like the interaction on YouTube too, where we can see who's commenting. So that's big. So as per the usual, the plan is to just try to get better with how we provide content. So it's still rough, but and may get rougher. I've got a move coming, and Nate just got moved in, and so we're going to make it work. And the main thing is we want it to be a place where we can chit chat with people and bullshit about cards and fighting.
If you were here in the beginning, it was horrible. It was frustrating, and we were technology inept. And now we've got a nice platform that works, and eventually we'll both be settled in our new places. And I'm looking forward to the future of fight cards. Be still.
Me too, man. Me too. As always.
Thank you for everybody who's sticking with us, and hopefully we add some value to some entertainment to your Sunday night.
Absolutely, and as always, man, it was a pleasure. Enjoy it.
Me as well. Have a good week.
All right, man. Y'all have a good week.